And, you know, to the average person, this looks just as nice on the outside as a Platinum. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing a 2022 Ford F-350 Limited. We're going to see how the other half of the construction site lives, right? Because you got your base model work trucks, and then you have the truck that the owner of the construction company would probably be driving around. Anyways, a huge shout out and thank you to the Land Rover here in Lehigh, Utah for giving me some time with this truck. This one is available for sale right now. If you're interested, check out the inventory in the description down below. They also sell new Land Rovers and Jaguars at MSRP only, no markups, so definitely check them out. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into the video. So under the hood of the Limited, we have the 6.7 liter Power Stroke diesel that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. It's good for 475 horsepower and then 1,050 pound-feet of torque, which is just crazy. Now let's go to the front end of the Limited. So you guys can see we've got the cab lights there at the top in orange. And then looking here at the hood, notice how the center portion kind of like stands alone. You've got like ridges there on either side that kind of loop all the way around. Super Duty front and center. And then notice here with the coloration on the front grille. So you've got the regular Ford logo with the camera at the bottom of the logo, but tons of chrome trim here. And they've got the LED daytime running lights with the LED headlamps as well. We've got fog lights down below that. And then you can see here with the tow hooks on the front end. And then we have the massive Super Duty air dam that helps out with stability and mostly aerodynamic efficiency though, but it can slightly help out with stability, right? Because if you're directing the airflow around the truck rather than going under the truck, then it'll help out at high speeds on, you know, super windy days. But anyways, there's the front end. Now coming on the side here, we've got 35s wrapped around 20-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And again, that theme of like chrome trim kind of continues onto the wheels. Now these do not come from the factory. These were added on after the fact. Definitely looks really cool. They're aggressive all-terrain tires. And then here's a quick look at the front suspension a little bit, and we'll actually kind of pop underneath so you guys can see it a little bit better. Still have a solid front axle for those of you that are wondering. And then if we take a few steps back, here's our full side view on the truck. It is gigantic. Notice the mirror cap is actually body painted. Pretty cool. We have our Limited badge here on the side, 6.7 liter Power Stroke. And look at the coloration on the door handles. And then the window trim actually matches that. And then popping here to the rear, just a quick look at the leaf spring setup. And here's a better look at the tread pattern on the tires. Now here's our key fob. We have our unlock function, lock, remote start, and then the drop down for the tailgate. We have a payload capacity of about 3,400 pounds. Then you'll be able to tow like 20,000 plus pounds with the new version of the Power Stroke. Anyways, you guys can see here with this is Ford's tailgate step system. And then we've got LED lights here in the bed, and then you can see everything's protected, which is great. Tonneau cover on this one. Here's the company on that, if you guys are wondering. And then you have to just lift this up yourself. Don't have the auto raise function on it. And yeah, let's just finish things up with the rest of the rear of the Limited. So notice we have our Limited plaque here. It says Super Duty. Parking sensors down below, and then we have a gigantic receiver hitch. And then we've got the exhaust tips poking out the side, and then LED tail lamps as well. There you go. Now here's the door panel in the rear. Look at the leather trim all over. You got the wood trim, and then down below. This part right here though does not have leather trim, funny enough. And here are the seats. Notice the coloration on it. It says Limited and then perforated in the center. I really like these two-tone seats actually. Power side steps help out quite a bit. You got the grab handle to help out as well. But, ooh, spacious back here. And then you can see with the storage space, got a couple of cup holders, heated seats with all of the charging ports and the vents. And then we have our cup holder armrest. And it looks like the seatbelts are colored too, actually. Let's head to the front. Now here's the front door panel. You guys can see again with all of the leather trim, and then look at the wood trim as well. All of our window controls, the mirrors do power fold in. They also have the cool mirror extender function. And then you've got the blind spot monitoring function on top of that. 3 settings for the memory seats. And then here are the front seats. Again, it says Limited. Perforated leather all down the center. And then notice for the adjustments. Limited again. Pedal layout down below. You've got your pedal adjustment here. That's for the tailgate drop down, brake release, light controls, mirror lights, steering wheel power adjustable. Let's pop in. So here is the steering wheel with the Limited. You've got beautiful leather all around. Even the airbag cover is colored, which is pretty cool. We've got our volume controls, voice command, phone controls, adaptive cruise control. We've got controls for the center stack, turn signal, windshield wiper stock. Got the column shifter with the drive mode selected, and then the plus and minus to shift gears yourself with that 10-speed automatic if you want. And also, the actuation on this is pretty good. But anyways, there you go. Here's a gauge cluster. Notice that it says Limited right there, which is pretty cool. And then as for the center portion of the gauge cluster, we can scroll through a few different screens to see different bits of info on the truck. Apparently we are going down by a degree, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, just like other Super Duty's basic information. But what I am curious to see is the fuel economy. I'm on the wrong page. You think I'd know at this point. 15.7 miles per gallon. That is not bad at all. We do have some drive modes we can go through. So normal, tow haul, eco, slippery, deep snow, sand. And then there is the sport track mode. You can also go just press the stability control button twice and that'll pop you into that. We got our diesel exhaust brake up top, stability control, hazard lights, hill descent control, lane departure, and then the camera button. Now this being a 22, it has the 12-inch display. So first off, you guys can see trajectory lines turn with the steering wheel, and then you got that bird's eye view as well. And then look at all the other different viewpoints here with the truck, including there over the bed. Let's open that up again. Got the auxiliary camera, and then you guys can see here. And then notice for the tow mode as well. So yeah, from a camera perspective, super solid. As for the 12-inch display, you have the main screen, and you've got the shortcut bar here at the bottom of the main screen. Response time with the screen is really good, actually. And then notice we do have, after I say response time's good, it doesn't work. Massaging seats. As you can see, that's a cool thing about the Limited. And then you got the auxiliary screen here off to the side. You can scroll through some different menus with that, which is pretty cool, and there you go. Notice here, we've got our little outlet. And then we've got our analog controls for the radio, climate controls, again, dual zone climate, heated, cooled seats, heated steering wheel. Driveline select, so we have 2-wheel high, 4-wheel low, and then a locker on the rear. Trailer brake controls, and then our trailer backup system. And then here is some extra storage space. It contains a wireless phone charger, some USBs. And then again, when you cover it up, it's got some nice wood trim there on the face. And then you got some more storage space here on the side. More storage space with the cup holders. And look at this, we have our Limited plaque. Gives us our apparent build number here, 73, with the VIN number, and then it gives you the model year with the Limiteds. And then inside, and then here is our glove box situation, and then yeah, look at the dash. Really nice from a material standpoint, and Bang & Olufsen sound system, it's pretty cool. Finishing things up top here, you can see we've got the full panoramic sunroof. And then notice we have a premium headliner that also comes with Limited, but it ends pretty high up. It doesn't go on the pillars. And then we've got 6 auxiliary switches. And then notice power sliding window for the rear and controls to the center in this area. But there you go. Now because of the Super Duty shortage that we are experiencing because Ford cut off production a little bit early, it seems like, and we don't have the 23s that you can order yet, prices have skyrocketed, and so this is now a $100,000 plus truck in today's market. Currently, it was already expensive, you know, in terms of the original MSRP, but values have gone up because supply and demand, and let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood. Both mirrors, again, they do have blind spot monitoring. And throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. Setting off in the F-350, and we're actually going to put it into the sport traction mode. Actually, I didn't do it right. I didn't press it fast enough. Sport traction mode. First off, this is a big pickup truck. And so definitely parking lot maneuverability is interesting, to say the least. Now I actually want to turn on the massaging seat because I want to get the full F-350 Limited experience to let you guys know if this is worth getting over, you know, something like a Lariat that's quite a bit less expensive. Gotta love that power stroke. So first off, seat comfort definitely does feel better than a Lariat, but it feels about the same as like a Platinum. And I think that that's the value play that a lot of people go for, is actually the Platinum over the Limiteds. And we'll kind of talk about that more later on. But seat comfort's great. Massaging seat function, also fantastic as well. And then from a ride quality perspective, you know, it's, again, solid front rear axles. It's got big leaf springs, but it's smooth, all things considered. Like, I would expect this to ride a lot rougher than it does. You do feel a bit through the steering wheel. And yeah, when you go over bumps, you feel it. But I mean, compared to old pickup trucks, this thing is a luxury yacht. Emphasis on the yacht because it's a big truck. Now, aside from that, I'm trying to think what else you guys would probably want to hear about. Sound system with the Bang & Olufsen sound system's great. Let's get our... Gotta kind of be careful with the throttle. It's so crazy. Super Duties are so fast. With this new version of the Power Stroke, it's just like... I say this every single time I drive one, but like, seriously, if you haven't driven one and you have a chance to drive one, like, do it, and then you'll understand. Like, this should not be this fast. This is a tow truck. This is not a race car yet. It's just so much power. And especially in two-wheel drive, it just struggles to put that torque to the ground. But it's fun. It's got that going for it, that is for sure. And so we'll loop around, get one more acceleration, and then we'll kind of sum things up and talk about this compared to the Platinum and the Lariat. So I guess first diving into that topic while I wait here is, you know, this feels very similar to the Platinum. There are some nice touches on this that are nicer than the Platinum. Like, it looks like they just have like more leather trim on this compared to the Platinum, and like especially on like the top of the door panel and everything. So definitely more leather used throughout this interior, that is for sure. But if you really don't care about that, seats are just as comfortable, still have the massaging seat function, and you know, to the average person, this looks just as nice on the outside as a Platinum. Goodness gracious, it's fast. And then, you know, compared to a Lariat, yeah, the seats are softer in the Platinum and in this Limited, and you get the massaging seat function, okay? So there is that going for it. That being said, you can still get all like cool cameras, you still have a good looking truck on the outside, you can still get heated cooled seat function. So from a practicality perspective, the Lariat makes the most sense. But if you just want that extra little bit of luxury, that's what the Platinum and Limited give you. And the thing I've noticed, and I think that this kind of says everything about this truck, is Platinums and Limiteds seem to be trading at about the same amount of money in terms of the, you know, used car resale market. And so even though the Platinum is a little bit less money new, they're selling for about the same used, which tells me that the used market doesn't really value a Limited more than they value a Platinum, if that makes sense. So I think this is a great truck, and if you want just a slightly nicer interior than a Platinum with all the same features, that's what the Limited gives you. And you got the Limited name, obviously, so you can flex and everything, you have Limited, but you're basically getting the same truck as a F-350 Platinum. You're not really getting that much more, and again, you're paying like the same amount of money used for these. So yeah, I think the market kind of describes the whole situation. That's gonna sum things up for our video on this Limited F-350. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Land Rover here in Lehigh, Utah for giving me some time with this F-350. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I will see all of you in that next video.